Welcome back. All right, so we now know two first round series after tonight's action. We don't know who's going to have that final playoff spot in the East, and I think that's fantastic. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And we're going to talk about the nail biter. Red Wings fans might have got some gray hairs tonight. So it was Montembeault versus Lyon. I did like that the anthem singer in Detroit was singing the Canadian national anthem partly in French because it's Montreal, so that makes total sense. I thought that was great. I wanted to put that on the board. Teams exchange rushes. The shots are only one apiece, 3.5 minutes in. Montreal scores on their second shot. It's Gallagher from Hudson and Savard at 4:25. So Lane Hudson, first NHL point. Wings look to respond. However, on their third shot, Montreal scores again. It's Justin Barron from Anderson and Evans at 6:13. Armia has a shot that's kicked aside. And then Detroit scores on their third shot. It's Confer from DeBrincat and Sherratt at 8:11. Wings press with 8 minutes left. The shots are 7-4 Montreal with 5.5 minutes left. The Wings press with 2 minutes left. DeBrincat has a net feed. That's picked off. It's 2-1 Montreal after one. Second period shots are 2-1 for the Wings, 3.5 minutes in. And then on a rush, Harvey Pinard buries one. Evans and Kovacevic with the assists at 5:15. Montreal has their 2-goal lead back. Confer's then denied. Montembeault holds. We get a power play for Detroit. Confer's denied twice. That power play's killed off. Confer to Kane. There's a near miss there. The Habs press are kept to the outside, but at 15:25, Gallagher on a turnover wires one from the slot. Jake Evans with his second assist of the period and third of the game. It's 4-1 Montreal, but an answer pretty much right away at 15:30 or 15:59. 34 seconds after the other goal, Confer answers. Perron and Kane with the assists. He roofs that one on a cross-ice pass. The Habs press in the final minute. They're up 4-2 after two. Third period, Dvorak has a turnover chance. That's blocked. Perron has a net feed that's blocked as well. Good forechecking by the Habs. The shots are 2-1 for the Wings at 7 minutes. Wings press are kept to the outside. DeBrincat has a rush chance. That's blocked. They throw an octopus on the ice down by 2. They had to clean up the ice a little bit. It works. At 10:38, DeBrincat. He scores from Gostisbehere and Mata. The Habs then out a 2-on-1. That's broken up. The Wings press with 7.5 minutes left in the game. Basically, in the third period, the Wings started playing like their season was on the line, because it was. There's more pressure by the Wings with 6 minutes left. Raymond's then denied. There's heavy pressure by the Wings until at 18:43, Raymond scores. He gets that one from Perron and Gostisbehere. It's 4-4. We're going to overtime. Habs controlled early. Larkin has a rush chance. That's held. Caulfield's denied on a net drive. And then just as we're getting ready for a shootout, 4:35 in, Raymond wires one on the rush from Larkin and Gostisbehere. Loudest Detroit reaction I can remember in some time. And it's a 5-4 overtime win. Detroit goes to 40, 32, and 9 on the season, so they stay alive. For Montreal, 30, 36, and 15 with the overtime loss. So for the shots, 8-7 Montreal in the first, 11-5 Detroit in the second, 15-5 Detroit in the third. Shots are 3-2 Montreal in the overtime, but Detroit had the shot that matters. Final shots 35-21 for the Wings. Power plays, Montreal didn't have any. Detroit was 0 for 1. The hits 30-25 for Montreal. Montembeault saves 30 out of 35. Lions saved 17 out of 21. All right, this is a weird time of day for my allergies stacked up, but here we are. All right, so the Islanders and the Devils. Varlamov versus Allen. The Isles press at 2 minutes, but the shots are 2-0 Devils 3 minutes in. Devils are blocking shots early. Luke Hughes has a rush chance. That gets blocked. No room for either team in that first half. The Devils press with 8 minutes left, but at 12:22, Pajot buries one on a rush for the first shot credited to the Islanders. They get a goal. Engvall and Lee with the assists. Then we get a power play for the Islanders, and they score on it. At 16:52, Palmieri scores it from Riley and Nelson. It went in off Smith's leg. He was lifting his leg to block it. Instead, he deflects it in, and then it hit Palmieri on its way into the net. So it's 2-0 Islanders after one. Second period, Palmieri has a rush chance. That saved, and then at 3:25, Meyer buries a rebound in close. Bratt and Heischer with the assists. It's a 2-1 game. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. The shots are 5-1 New Jersey at 6.5 minutes. And then at 11:48, Nelson scores to make it 3-1. Fashing and Palmieri with the assists. The Islanders press with 6.5 minutes left. We get a power play for the Devils. That's killed off. Devils press after it ends, but it's 3-1 for the Islanders after two. Third period. Things get pushy on a hold by Allen. We get a power play for the Devils. Luke Hughes has a shot that deflects wide. That power play is killed off. Shots are 2 apiece at 5.5 minutes. At 6:17, McLean buries one in close to make it 4-1. Lee and Engvall with the assist there. Devils press at the half. The Islanders then get some pressure. Aho's denied. More pressure by the Islanders with 7.5 minutes left. The shots are 7-5 for the Isles with 5 minutes left. Did the Devils score? It looked like they had. It looked like they got closer, but no. Puck never crossed the line. Both player and referee thought it was in. No, it wasn't. So the Devils press in the final minute. They're unable to generate a goal. The Islanders clinch a playoff spot. In fact, they clinch third in the division with the win. They go to 38, 22, and 27, I should say, and 16 with the win. With the loss, the Devils finish the season at 38, 39, and 5. So the Islanders will play Carolina in the first round again. Shots on net, 8-5 New Jersey in the first, 9-4 New Jersey in the second, 10-7 Islanders in the third. Final shots, 24-19 for the Devils. Power plays, the Islanders 1 for 1, the Devils 0 for 3. The hits, 18-11 for the Islanders. Varlamov saves 23 out of 24. Allen saved 15 out of 19 at the other end. All right, next up, Nashville and Pittsburgh. Nashville had a chance tonight to A, reach 100 points in their final game of the season, and B, lock down the number 1 wildcard spot. They didn't. So, Saros versus Nedeljkovic in this one. The shots are 2 apiece at 4.5 minutes. It was good flow early, not very many whistles. Penguins press. Saros looked pretty sharp. We get a power play for the Penguins. They score on it. Goalie interference challenge. Yep, that goal comes off the board. And then Crosby scores on the power play anyway. So they get it right back. Bunting and Rust with the assists at 7:02. And he buries a puck that had actually trickled through Saros. Saros almost had it. Shots are 9-2 for the Penguins with 9 minutes left. The Penguins press with 8.5 minutes left. And then at 13:50, a point shot past a screen goes past Saros and into the net. Carlson with the goal from Crosby and Pettersson. Penguins then draw a power play, and they score during that power play. But it's a second goalie interference challenge, and it's also no goal. So the Preds then finish the kill. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh after 1. Second period. Pressed by Nashville at 3 minutes. The shots are 4-0 for Nashville 4 minutes in. Pressed by Nashville at 7 minutes. Eventually they score. Nyquist from O'Reilly and McDonough at 7:24. And then the Preds, they look to tie it. However, Smith answers from Eller and Letang at 8:21. He buries that from the slot while Roman Josi was shaken up on the ice. There's a press by Nashville with 8.5 minutes left. There's some pushy and sticky going on with Nedeljkovic holding onto a puck. So we get 4-on-4 out of that. At 17:36, Forsberg makes it interesting. He scores from McDonough. That one went off Pettersson's stick and roofed into the net. 1:54 left. The Penguins get a power play. So that's killed off. We go to the third period with the score 3-2 Pittsburgh. Shots are 4-2 for the Pens at 2.5 minutes, and at 2:42 they score. It's Bemstrom from Carlson and Pettersson. Then the Pens press for another. Things get pushed in a hole by Nedeljkovic. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Penguins then get a power play. That's killed off as well. The goalie pull happens with 3 minutes left. Nashville can't get any closer. They lose this one 4-2. Pittsburgh wins to stay in the hunt for that last playoff spot. They're 38, 31, and 12. Nashville 47, 30, and 5. They finished the season with 99 points. Shots on net 20-5 Pittsburgh in the first, 16-8 Nashville in the second, 10-9 Pittsburgh in the third. Final shots 38-30 for the Penguins. Power plays Nashville 0 for 1, Pittsburgh 1 for 4. The hits 26-9 for Nashville. Saros saves 34 out of 38. Nedeljkovic saves 28 out of 30 at the other end. So, entertaining game? Sure. Probably less entertaining if you're a Preds fan. All right, next up, Buffalo and Tampa Bay. So, Buffalo looking to finish the season above 500. And for Tampa, there really isn't anything for them to play for. They're the number 1 wild card. They can't move up. They can't move down. It's hard to get motivated. So, Comrie versus Vasilevsky in this one. There's an early chance by Benson. That's held. And then at 1:24, Dylan Cousins scores. He gets that one from Quinn and Byram. And then the Sabres look for another. In fact, the shots are 4-1 Buffalo 5 minutes in. Or 4-3 Buffalo, I should say, at 5 minutes. Things get pushed in hole by Vasilevsky. Sabres press at the half. The Bolts press with 8.5 minutes left. The shots are 9-7 for Tampa Bay with 4 minutes left. With 1:26 left, the Bolts get a power play. So that rolls over into the second period with Buffalo ahead 1-0. There's a shorthanded rush by Cousins. That's saved. The Sabres finish the kill. And then Tampa Bay scores shortly after it. 2:26. Stamkos gets his 40th goal. Kucherov with the helper. That's 99 assists for Kucherov. So he didn't reach 100 assists tonight. There's a player that did. Kucherov, with 1 game left in the season, just needs 1 assist for 100 on the season. So the Bolts then look for the lead. We get a power play for Tampa, and it looks like the momentum's in their favor. But shorthanded, Cousins gets the 2nd goal of the game. He scores that one from Greenway at 5:08. He buries that one in close on a turnover, and suddenly Buffalo has their lead back. Sabres finish the kill. They rush after that. The shots are 7-4 for the Sabres at 8 minutes. Bolts press at 8.5 minutes. We get a power play for Buffalo. There's a shorthanded chance by Paul. That's denied. That power play is killed off. Sorelli's denied on a rush. And then at 16-12, also on a rush, Greenway buries a rebound. The assist to Gergensons. It's 3-1 Buffalo. Buffalo after 2 periods in Tampa. 3rd period, early press by the Bolts. We get a power play for Buffalo. That's killed off. The shots are 1 apiece at 4 minutes. Sabres defending pretty well at this point. The Bolts, they then press. They're kept to the outside until at 9:39. Chernak scores a goal from Nick Paul. So it's a goal closer. Buffalo answers pretty much right away. At 9:54, Benson, off of a turnover, taps one in. Quinn forced the turnover there. And so that makes it a 4-2 score. The Bolts press with 5 minutes left. They pull the goalie to no avail. Your final score is 4-2 for Buffalo. They finished the season at 39-37-6. With the loss, Tampa Bay 44-29-6. They finish up the season, I believe, with a matchup against Toronto. Shots on net, 16-9 for Tampa in the first, 16-7 Buffalo in the second, 10-9 Tampa in the third. Final shots, 34-33 for the Sabres. Both teams go 0 for 2 on the power play. They hit 17-11 Tampa Bay. Comrie saves 31 out of 33, and Vasilevsky saves 30 out of 34. Now I need to change boards. All right, so Boston and Washington. This was a Washington game, all right. And the Capitals, they have control. So if the Capitals win their last game of the season, they're in. They play Philadelphia. Philadelphia, of course, has to win if they have any hope, and Philadelphia needs some help even if they do beat the Caps. But the Caps just need to win that last game, and they're in the playoffs. So it's Swayman versus Lindgren. Early edge for the Caps. The shots are 3-0 in their favor, 3 minutes in. Carlo has a shot that's blocked as the Bruins press. In fact, 8 minutes in, the Bruins still don't have a shot on net. The shots are 5-0 Caps at the half. And at 12 minutes, Carlson opens the scoring for the Caps from Stroman Wilson. McAvoy to Geekie gets picked off. Things are pushed in a hole by Lindgren. Caps press with 3.5 minutes left. They have a 3-on-2 that's broken up by the Bruins. Pasternak has a rush chance. That's held. It's 1-0 Washington after 1. Second period. Bruins press at 2.5 minutes. Carlo has a one-timer. That's blocked. Shots are 5-1 Washington, 8 minutes into the period. Very few whistles because it's a Caps game. So this game was going very quickly. And the Bruins limited to 6 shots halfway through the game. Just 6 shots at 30 minutes. That's not very many shots for Boston. Geekie has a shot that's blocked and cleared. Pasternak has a rush chance that's saved. The Caps press with 4.5 minutes left. McMichael has a rush chance that's saved. And the Caps are just clogging up the middle of the ice. Boston had 8 shots through the first 2 periods. Third period. This is where they announced Malenstein, who got hurt in the second, wouldn't return. Bruins had the only shot on net 3 minutes in. Pasternak fires one wide on a rush. We get a power play for the Capitals. That's killed off. Shots are 3-2 for Boston at 9 minutes. DeBrusk has a net feed. That's blocked. Lindholm can't bury a rebound. Things get pushed in a hole by Lindgren. With 26.1 seconds left, the Bruins call a timeout. They'd already pulled the goalie, and then Dowd hit the empty net at 19:47. So your final score is 2-0. The Tony the Tiger Magnets on the board. Washington wins. They go to 39, 31, and 11 with the win. With the loss, Boston 47, 19, and 15. And they get to play Ottawa tomorrow to round out the season. Shots on net, 7-4 Washington in the first, 15-4 Washington in the second, 8-3 Boston in the third. Final shots, 25-16 for the Caps. Power plays, Boston 0 for 0. They didn't have one. Washington 0 for 1. Hits, 50-41 Boston. At least it was a physical game. Swayman, 24 saves on 25 shots. Lindgren saved all 16 shots for the shutout. If we get the Capitals and the Rangers in the first round, what a clash in styles of play. What an absolute clash in styles of play that we're going to see. All right, speaking of, the Rangers were hosting the Ottawa Senators, and if they beat Ottawa, well, they finish first in the league. That's it, President's Trophy. So it's Korpisalo versus Shesterkin. The early press is by New York. The shots are 3-0 New York at 5.5 minutes. And on a 2-on-1 rush, Roslovic opens the scoring from Kreider at 5:55. Panarin then fires one wide from the slot. There's some Rempe chance. The Rangers are controlling. The Sens press with 9.5 minutes left. The Rangers press with 6.5 minutes left with 1:50 left. There's a power play for New York, and Adam Fox was denied at the horn. So it's 1-0 Rangers after the first. Second period, the shots are 3-0 Sens at 3 minutes. There's a near miss for Tkachuk in close. Lafreniere is denied on a net drive. The Rangers press at 6.5 minutes. We then get a power play for Ottawa, a chance to even up the game. But on a 2-on-1 with 5 seconds left in that power play, Fox scores shorthanded. Kreider and Zibanejad with the assists at 8:58. Sens press with 7.5 minutes left. We get a power play for the Rangers. That's killed off. Batherson fires one wide from the slot. The Rangers press in the final minute. They're up 2-0 after 2. Third period, shots are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. And then at 4:34, Panarin gets his 49th. Lindgren and Fox with the assists. Batherson then has a shot that deflects out. The shots are 5 apiece, 8 minutes into the period. Sens press with 7.5 minutes left, and at 13 minutes, Lafreniere on a tic-tac-toe play on a rush scores from Gustafsson and Panarin. The crowd yelling shoot every time Panarin had the puck. Panarin decided to pass, and it works out pretty well, 4-0. Get a power play for Ottawa. There's a penalty shot for Vesey. He fires wide on that. Rangers finish the kill with 2:44 left. New York gets a power play. Panarin is denied number 50 by Korpisalo during that. The Rangers do win the President's Trophy even though they don't score during that power play. So, your final score is 4-0. That's another Tony the Tiger magnet. 55, 23, and 4 is the record for the New York Rangers. So they finished with 114 points for the President's Trophy. The Sens 36, 41, and 4. And like I said, they play tomorrow night against Boston. Shots on net, 13-10 Rangers in the first, 11-9 Rangers in the second, 10-7 Rangers in the third. Final shots are 34-26 for the Rangers. Power plays, Ottawa 0-2. Rangers 0-3. The hits, 19-14 Ottawa. Korpisalo saved 30 out of 34. Shesterkin saved all 26 shots for the shutout, just in time for the playoffs. All right, next up, San Jose and Edmonton. I don't know what to say with this other than Cooley and Romanov as the goalies. It's just, they lit up Krona earlier in the year. Now, well, if you're a young goaltender in the San Jose organization, at some point you're going to get lit up by the Oilers. So it's Cooley versus Skinner, and on their first shot, the Oilers score. It's McDavid from Nurse at 53 seconds. The shots are 3-0 Oilers at 4 minutes. And on their fourth shot, they score again. At 4:01, it's Henrique from Kulak. So basically, as I'm writing that up there, they score. The Oilers press at 8 minutes. We get a crossbar from McLeod. And then at 10:39 on a 2-on-1 rush, Fogle wires one. Draisaitl with the helper. So that makes it 3-0 for the Oilers. Shots are 8-3 Edmonton with 6.5 minutes left. We get a power play for San Jose. That's killed off. And then Holloway scores at 19:35 from Henrique and Nurse. He tips that one in close. It's 4-0 Oilers after one. Second period. At 1:58, Gushin scores for San Jose from Bordelot. He buries that one on a rush, so it makes it 4-1. It doesn't get better than that for San Jose. It really doesn't tonight. Shots are 3-1 for the Oilers at 3.5 minutes. The Oilers press at 4.5 minutes. And at 4:41, Fogle buries one in close for a second of the game. Nugent Hopkins and Draisaitl with the assists. Then there's a post for Henrique. It's really all Oilers at this point. Oilers press at 8 minutes. Skinner denies Giovanni Smith on a break. And then at 10:11, Corey Perry scores from Bouchard and Holloway. At 13:17, CC decides it's his turn. Henrique and Hyman with the assists there. At 13:49, Bouchard decides to have a turn. He scores from Perry and Holloway. That ends the night for Cooley, who allowed 8 goals on 22 shots. Poor kid. In goes Romanov, who before tonight, I didn't know there was a goaltender named Romanov for the Sharks. So Hyman ends up scoring at 15:34 from McDavid and Nurse. That is assist number 100 for Connor McDavid this year. Kudos to him. He becomes the 4th player in NHL history to reach 100 assists, joining Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr. Yes, Kucherov could get that 100th in the next game, or maybe he doesn't. At any rate, congratulations to McDavid on getting that 100th assist and his 300th multi-point game in his career. That's pretty good. So we go to the third period with the score everything to 1 for the Oilers. Graf nearly gets his first goal. The shots are 4-2 for the Oilers at 4.5 minutes. The Oilers press at 5 minutes. Addison has a shot that's held. Shots are 8-6 for the Oilers with 7 minutes left. At 15:29, Zetterlund buries one in close. Eklund and Granlund with the assists. So again, the triple Lund line there. But that's as close as we get. 9-2 is your final. The Oilers go to 49, 25, and 6. They're not out of the running for the division. For San Jose, 19, 53, and 9 with the loss. Shots on net, 10-6 Edmonton in the first, 17-5 Edmonton in the second. They really took their foot off the gas in the third. Both teams had 10 shots. Final shots, 37-21 for the Oilers. Power plays, San Jose 0 for 1. Edmonton didn't need a power play. Hits 39-22 for the San Jose Sharks. Cooley saves 14 out of 22. Romanov, his stat line's not bad. 14 saves on 15 shots. Skinner, not overly busy, not bad. 19 saves on 21 shots. All right, last game of the night, Minnesota and LA. I didn't see this coming. Minnesota has alternated between looking okay after being eliminated and looking really bad. But tonight they look good. So it's Gustafsson versus Talbot. We get a power play for the Kings. That's killed off. 2 shots on that. Shots are 3-0 for the Kings, 5.5 minutes in. The Wild press with 7 minutes left. We get a power play for the Wild, and they score in it. Boldy goes 5-hole on a rush, so not your standard power play goal. Rossi and Faber with the assist at 14-14. It's 1-0 for Minnesota. The Wild press for another. Kempe's then denied on a rush. The shots are 8-7 for Minnesota with 4 minutes left. 3:01 left. The Kings get a power play. That's killed off. Goligoski then nearly catches Talbot out of the net. Talbot came out to win a race for a puck. He did not. But I think it was Gavrikov that prevented that Goligoski potentially getting a goal there. But at any rate, bailing out Talbot and all that. But it's 1-0 for Minnesota after 1. Second period, shots are 1 apiece at 3 minutes. The Wild press at 4.5 minutes. Byfield to Arvidsson. That play gets picked off. Neither team with a path to the net at this point. We get a power play for the Wild. That's killed off. Both teams only had 10 shots 30 minutes into the game. So this was not a high-event game. Both teams were playing the same style of hockey. It's called riveting is what it's called. So teams exchange rushes. Power play for the Wild. There's a post for Kaprizov during that. That's killed off. Dubois is a sharp angle shot. That's held. And then at 19:55, so just before the period's out, Kaprizov, really nice pass to Hartman, and Hartman roofs it. So that's his 21st of the season, and it's 2-0 Minnesota after 2. Third period, Johansson has a net drive that's saved. The Kings press at 1.5. Things get pushy on a Gustafsson hold. Shots are 4-3 for the Kings at 5 minutes. We get a power play for LA. That's killed off, and then Kaprizov scores. He gets one from Rossi and Middleton at 8:25. He banked that one in off Talbot, too, from behind the net. It's a goal scorer's goal when you just see, I think I can bank that one. Like it's like playing pool, right? The guy who can call it off like 3 cushions, you're like, whatever. I knew that was going to go in. Sure you did. Whatever. But anyways, Kings get blanketed by that defense of the Wild until the Kings get on the board. Lizotte scores on a rush. That one's a slot shot too. Fiala with the assist at 14:36 to make it 3-1. With 1:23 left, the Wild call a timeout because they've been in their own zone for a while and they needed to give their top guys a rest. With 1.4 seconds left, the Kings get a power play. They don't manage a shot. The Wild win the face-off and they win the game 3-1. They go to 39, 33, and 9 with the win. With the loss, the Kings 43, 27, and 11 on the season. And they lose out on a chance to clinch third spot. So Vegas could still jump into third spot. For the shots on net, 8-7 Minnesota in the first, 8-5 Minnesota in the second, 13-12 Minnesota in the third. They outshoot LA 29-24. Power plays, Minnesota 1 for 3, LA 0 for 4. The hits 18-11 for LA. Gustafsson, good night for him. 23 saves on 24 shots. For Talbot, 26 saves on 29 shots. So there you go. You're all caught up. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.